Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and this amazing series. I'm Aditya. In this series, we are using MERN stack to create amazing chat application. So without any further ado, let's begin with this video. Cool. So since the last video, we are focusing mostly on the backend application. Now from this video onwards, we will be focusing on the React application or the front end application that we are going to develop. And there is another cool thing that I came across today. It was the release of Tailwind CSS 3.0. So I thought, okay, let's add it in our video as well today because we will be using Tailwind and we will need to see what's new in it. So as you could see, like there are tons of new features. So if you just go through the upgrade guide, and because I'm also seeing the guide for the first time, but just having a look at it, I could see like this color extension. It's kind of like slightly removed. When I say slightly removed, is that all the colors are available, and I have also added some new colors as well. So if I go over here in the colors, you could see there are amazing new colors, and also in terms of scroll behavior, and also in terms of font accent color, like changing the color of the checks box and radio box and all those stuff. Like several things are there. So as we code our application, definitely we are going to see some of those step by step. And yeah, I guess that's pretty much it for this. So let's see how we can install it. So if I go in installation, and here if I go to framework guides and to our React app, now I would definitely recommend a video, because I have seen on YouTube just coming over here that there was a video on by Tailwind Labs officially on the new Tailwind CSS V3. So definitely check that video. It encompasses like almost all those features they have introduced in it. So here we are with the create React project. Now we can also create a React project from here by just following the command. But as we are going to install Tailwind, so why not just follow the steps from here only. Now before moving forward, let me introduce React first. So React, if you're new to this, it's a library. I'm pretty much sure like most of you know this, so but just for someone who is new to this is a library which is a very amazing library for building web applications. The front end library actually is just a JavaScript library, so building the modern user interface, or you could say like single page applications, or even server-side rendered applications using Next.js, which is a React framework again. So it is developed by Facebook, or actually it's owned by Facebook, and this learning curve is kind of steep, but once you get a hang of it, it becomes very simple. So definitely like worth learning this library, because not because we are creating a video, but it is worth learning it. And the good thing about this is if you know React, then you can simply extend a bit of knowledge of mobile development and have it write a code in React Native for mobile apps, which is mostly like a hybrid app which will run on iOS, Android, on both platforms. So it's kind of like serves the purpose. So you just need to learn JavaScript and it serves your purpose. So that being said, let's go over here and see what we have. So we have a command here to install all the dependencies. So let's see what it's gonna do. So first, we will be installing the React. Then we will be saying that the scripts version should be the latest one, and we will be having some template over here. So first, let's copy the command over here. Let's go over here in our terminal. Let's paste it, and I'm gonna call this folder as frontend. Cool. And now if we just say yes, it will take a bit of time, so I'll just skip this part of video and get back to it once it's installed. Okay, so our project setup is ready, and I just went in. So as we named it as a front end, so I just went into the front end by doing cd front end and just opened it with VS Code. So here we are with VS Code. So here you will see that once we follow those steps of even if you don't follow from Tailwind website, if you even follow from the React official website of creating a React app, so that create React app thing will create this project structure where you will get a public folder, node modules folder, src folder, git ignore for GitHub. When you push your code, you can just put the files that you don't want to push in your Git repository, package.json obviously, and readme.md. So we will see one by one all these files and folder, but let's proceed forward with the installation. So here we cd into it, and let's now install Tailwind. So let's go here quickly. Let's go here again quickly, and let's install it here. Looks like it didn't get copied, so let me copy it quickly from here to here. Great. Okay, so here it is. Now let's go with initializing the Tailwind CSS config file. So here we'll just copy paste the command, and this will create the Tailwind config.js and post CSS config.js file. So let's proceed forward. Now here you will see in Tailwind config.js, we are asked to put this line in the content if it's not there. So let's see if it's there first. So yes, it's not there. So let's put it there. Now what is this going to do is when we, so we'll just put it here like this. Yeah. So whenever we write any code in our src, because this folder will be our main folder of interest, whenever we write any css classes in our src folders, files, all those files, those css classes, especially in the javascript files and jsx files only, so those css classes which are there will be kept, or their css will be kept, while all those css which are not there, those will be removed. So this is known as tree shaking. So you're only provided with the css content which you're using, rather than giving it everything to you, so that your bundle size is lightweight. Now after that being said, if we go down over here, all we need to do is in index.css, we just need to add these 3 lines. So let's add these. So let's go over here in index.css, and let's remove this. This was the minimal css that we get when we install React app. So let's put these 3 lines. So what these 3 lines are going to do is, these 3 lines, once Tailwind compiles this file, or once our compiler and Webpack works together to compile this file, these 3 lines will explode into all the CSS Tailwind classes with their CSS. So then we will go and just simply run this command to start our project. So let's go over here and write this command, and let's just start. Now if we go back again over here, let's remove this app.css, all the CSS file content from here. Now before we move any forward, let me explain it to you what are these each files are doing here, or each folders are doing here. So let's start from the node modules folder. As we saw in our Express app as well, this node modules folder is nothing but the folder where you will see all the JavaScript packages dumped literally over here. So whichever package you install with npm will come over here. Then we have a public folder. As React is best known for single page applications, so here you will see we have just one index.html. Okay, now this one index.html, this file will be acting as an entry HTML file for all of our other components and pages and all those stuff. So suppose if let's say that you're creating a website for 5 pages. Let's say there is home page, there is about page, contact page, and there is like store page, or there's some other blog page, something like that. Now in traditional approach, you will have 5 different HTML files for each of them, or you might have different files for each of the pages. But how it works in React is, you just have one main index.html file, or one main file, and all those 5 pages are nothing but acting as a full page components. We will see what that component means as well. So these 5 are acting as a full page components, and they will be dynamically rendered in this div automatically. Okay, so let's see what's going to happen here. So as it says in the comment here, when you compile your project, so when you build this project using npm run build command, so at that time all these JavaScript that we have written in this src folder will be compiled properly, and it will be injected automatically over here in this index.html file, and our components will be rendered as per we have instructed it to render. Okay, now if we go to src folder again, now this folder is our main folder of interest, and we will be coding. When we are in dev mode, we will be only coding in this folder, or rather throughout the process 99% of the time we will be coding in this src folder. So in this src folder you will see there is index.js. Now like every other project, as we have index.js in our Express app as well, which is an entry file. In the same way in React, there is index.js, which is an entry file over here. Now this index.js, you will see that there is some code written over here. So let's see what is that. Now here, we are importing React from the React library. We are importing React DOM. So DOM stands for document object model, which is nothing but, so if I go to this index.html again, this everything, like right from this line number 1 till, not line number 1 actually, line number 2, all that HTML content is a DOM. So it's nothing but a tree like structure, you could say. So it's as good as saying this head has all these children's. So this is like a tree like structure. So that DOM entire thing, it's actually that entire tree like structure is known as DOM. So we are importing the React DOM, and we are importing this CSS file, which is this index.css, so that our all global CSS stylings will be applied to all the components if we are having some global CSS styling. Now those Tailwind stylings are global CSS styling because we want to have those stylings applied, or those classes to be inherited by all the components. So we are just putting it over here in global CSS file. Okay, where were we? Here. Now we are also importing an app component, which is coming from this app.js. I will come back to the component word again. I'm using it quite often, but I'll come back to that. And some report web vitals. We'll get back to that as well. Now, next what we are doing here is we are saying that in that React DOM, there is a function which is render. And what that render is going to do is whatever app component is here, it will be mounted in the document, which is this index.html. In that, it will be mounted on the element, on the HTML element, which has the ID of root, which is this one over here. So it's as good as saying if you have used some JavaScript HTML DOM manipulation before in plain JavaScript or in jQuery as well, there is something like add event listener load, and then there is a function to be run, and then you have like document dot get element, and this is root, and then you append or inner HTML, or you do something like that. Just imagine something like this is happening behind the scene. So once your page is loaded, all those components are getting rendered automatically properly. So what is this strict mode then? Like what is this thing doing here? So what this thing do is it makes sure that all the warnings and everything are handled properly. Plus this thing won't render any UI of its own. So it's gonna be like literally acting like how, like to give a very simple example, it will be acting like a template tag in HTML, which doesn't render any UI, but it's just there to have it like a virtual container kind of thing, you could say. So we have an app component here, which is coming from here, and this app component, you could say it's like a master component, or you could say it's like a main component. All other components directly or indirectly will come to this app component, and it will take them to this index.js. So suppose we have like a home page, about page, blog page, and then we have, so these three will be like their own like full page components, and then there will be like say header, footer, sidebar, buttons, titles, text, inputs, forms, all those things like list, anchor tags, all those stuffs, they will be components in itself as well. And all those things will be compiled together however we use it, as we use it. And once they go in these three full page components, those three full page components will bring them here, and they will be given to index.js and going to the index.html. So it's kind of like a good, you could say like a good chain that works together hand in hand. Then we have like an app.test.js. Now this thing is just for testing this app component. You can write your own test. So just whenever you write a test, you just have it like dot, like the component name, dot test.js. So this report web vitals. So what this is going to do is it's just going to measure the performance of the app overall. And if you want to send analytics, you can use this function to send analytics. And I guess that's pretty much it. So here we have this tailwind config.js, post css config.js. Yeah, so as everything is ready, now let's go back and let's see what we have. So generally we don't have like this. So if I bring back the app css styling over here and just go back over here, you will see we have such beautiful styling. But as we will be using Tailwind CSS, so I will be just removing this from here. And if I want to see if Tailwind CSS is installed correctly, I will just go here and write bg, let's say zinc, because that's the new color. Let's see if it works. And I want 800. So if I save this and go back over here, there. So Tailwind is integrated and React is there, everything is there, perfect. So from the next video onwards, we'll be start coding in this application, and then we'll see how it goes. So till the next time, goodbye.